Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sugar Scoop Special Edition for our Sugar Enterprise customers. This is where you can learn the latest and greatest of all of the features and capabilities coming your way. Now, the things we'll talk about today are available in our cloud this July, or for on-premises, this will come to you in April of 2023 with the 13.0 release. Joining me today is the brilliant Ellen True, Senior
Brilliant. Wow.
Director.
Thank you.
That's true. Senior Director of Product Management. And we're going to go through some of these really cool capabilities that she and her team have been working really hard on. So, Ellen, you want to tell us what's coming with our reports viewer enhancements?
Yeah, this is really exciting, guys. So, especially for people who've been using sugar as long as I've been here. It's 11 years for me this coming month, James, in case I hadn't reminded you
Wow,
recently.
congratulations.
Reports viewer is just a huge part of the CRM, right? So, as Zach Sprackett, our esteemed CPO, likes to say, when you're working in sugar or any CRM, you're basically doing one of two things. You're either putting data in or you're getting data out. And reports is just such a huge way of getting that data out. So I'm really thrilled that we've gotten the chance to do a big visual overhaul. And it's not just about the visuals. We know that, the way something looks and feels matters. We want all of our customers to have a fantastic user experience. By golly, we want you to like using our stuff. But also the improvements we've made, I'm going to take you through a few, really enhance its usability, make this information accessible to you, help you fill up your screen with all the goodness you want to get out, the value really that you're getting out of the platform.
Oh, I love that. I think that'll be really cool. Should we take a look at what this new view looks like?
Let's do it. So this actually is our old view. This is what you've been looking at for a number of years. And you'll notice that my data doesn't start till way down here at the bottom. So what's really exciting is we know how much you love using the data you're getting out of sugar. And now, boom, it's filling up your screen from the get-go. So all that information that used to be at the top of the screen is still here. It's just tucked away somewhere, more appropriate for how often you really need to check those things. And the top of this screen also have these runtime filters. These are the filters that you can drive as you're working in order to see what you want to see. Well, they're still here. They're just over on the right, and they're in a modern user interface. The kind of thing you're used to clicking is one of, being able to check it this way instead of the old way you used to work. It's just bringing it into 2022. So it's really exciting. And there's a few things I want to show you here, some goodies. I don't know if you want to tag on anything else before I get really nitty gritty, James.
No, let's dive in. I love what we're looking at so far. I can't wait to see the next.
Yeah, so this is a report I like to use. It's my open tasks, right? And right now I'm pretending to be Jim Brennan, the esteemed head of sales at our pretend company in our demo data. And if you are not friends with Jim Brennan on LinkedIn, I recommend everyone watching this video go do that because it cracks me up that we have this pretend persona really existing in LinkedIn. Sorry, Microsoft. So
I'm
here
gonna have to
you're
look him up.
looking at you're looking at your data table, and right now I'm looking at open tasks that are assigned to me. And so one nice thing is I can make sure that I'm really looking at what I hope I'm looking at by checking all the filters. Look at this beautiful visualization. So before, if you wanted to be sure about what you were looking at, what filters are applied, am I really confident in the data? You had to sort of know how to read SQL. I'm guessing the vast majority of our users don't know how to read SQL. So now you have this nice visualization of the filters that are being applied. And again, the ones that are runtime, I'm able to change. So maybe I'm not so interested in what I'm behind on, but I want to check my team. And so I can do a reports to me, Jim, and hit apply. And there's all my data. And so there's some nice things you couldn't do before in this data table. For example, you'll notice that my header is now frozen. I'm able to know what column I'm looking at as I scroll my data. I'm able to change my sort order, which you could already do, but I also can change the column width. So again, just being able to put you in control of what you're seeing. And then one other nice change that's come to our list views already that appears here now is I've got this frozen first column already happening. So I can see the subject frozen as I scroll side to side as well. Super nice.
That's
So this is
awesome.
just a rows and columns. Obviously, there's no chart here. We get even more exciting stuff once we get to a report that has a chart. So here's a report, open opportunities by close month. And again, I've got my runtime filters, and now you'll see I've got two components over here, my data table up top, my bar chart on the bottom. And let's say, man, this chart's getting a little small. I really want to look at that, right? And so I can come up here and minimize my data table. And then boom,
Wow.
my chart just
Awesome.
got huge and I can see it and I can click into it and drill the way you could always do before. So just really, again, focusing on you not having to scroll around and hunt, but you being able to be in control of what is showing and fill up your whole screen with what you want. So I can click that to open it again. And maybe I really want to dig into my data table. Same principle. I can minimize that chart and really dive into the details here to see what I want to see. And for those of you who've already been taking advantage of the recent improvements to our dashboarding experience, another big way that you just consume, get value out of the data that you're putting in, you'll know what these little icons on the corners do. These are your arrows. These are resizers. So I can even be so flexible to say, you know what, I don't have a lot of runtime filters and I want to see this data even bigger. So let me just switch these two. I'm going to make my chart span so I get even more columns on the screen. And look how good that looks. So just making the most efficient use of your screen real estate and seeing what you want to see.
Wow, that's awesome. Ellen, this is great. Your team's obviously been putting a lot of work into this.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I just get to come and show it off, which is a wonderful part of my job.
That's great, Ellen. Some awesome advancements. Now, that leads us to our next major capability enhancement around forecasting. So, my understanding is not only your team, but other teams have been heavily invested in bringing out some really cool capabilities to make forecasting even easier for our sellers.
You're absolutely right. So what I'm about to show you, I'm really privileged to get to show you because we've been working on this and thinking about it, understanding what people need in forecasting, unpacking that word for over a year now. And so what I'm going to show you is not the end. We're still working on good stuff, but there's a lot of things that have gone into it so far. And one of the things that I've enjoyed most is just learning what forecasting means. I mean, we all use the word, we do it at our companies, but when you go and talk to customers, you start to understand how big that is and how different it is at different companies. And that it's not just about coming up with that final number that you're going to go show to your board. I mean, that's important. We all need a good number to go stand, put our name on, and to be able to know what we're going to sell in the future for all sorts of planning reasons. But it's also a whole set of activities and cadences that happen inside our sales organization that really is sort of the lifeblood of what happens in those organizations, and how we make better outcomes is all wrapped up in these activities. So pretty excited to show you what we've come up with.
Awesome. I can't wait to jump in. And I understand that a major piece to this is what we're calling pipeline inspection or pipeline review.
That's exactly right. So that's that cadence that I'm talking about, that many of the organizations we've talked to, either they want to do forecasting or they've been doing it for 2 decades. This is just a really important part of building that final number. It's getting together with different levels within your sales org to look through the pipeline and poke at each one. And so what we've found is that customers of ours, as well as customers of every other CRM, are really doing this majority outside of their CRM. And we just felt like that's a shame. We've got all the data you need. It all lives in Sugar. By golly, let's have the stupid meeting in Sugar, right? Rather than making you have to export it and jump through hoops. So back to really letting the platform do the work. So I can show you if you want. I've got this pulled up here.
Yeah. Can we take a look?
Yeah.
Let's dive in and see what this looks like.
Absolutely. So here on my screen, we've got team forecast for Jim Brennan. Jim, again, is the head of our sales organization, and I'm looking at his team in particular. And if we even just stop right there and say, you know, when I'm doing pipe inspection, or even if I'm a sales leader just looking at what's in the pipe for my team, I want to be able to see my whole team, not just me, not just one individual on my team. So before, you could do this in Sugar, but you would have to go and manually build that. I'd have to pick Jim and Sally and Roxanne and everybody on my team individually to build this filter. But instead, we've got this nice team picker. It goes through the hierarchy of your team's organization, your company's organization. So when I'm clicked here on Jim and looking at his team, that means I'm looking at every deal in the pipe for anyone who rolls up to Jim, no matter how many levels in your hierarchy you've got, right? So Jim being our head of North American sales, let's say, I'm able to jump into a call with my entire team and again, start inspecting the pipeline, actually looking at all of the deals that roll up to me.
That's nice. That is really nice.
Yeah, so I can give you a little tour too. I don't know how familiar you are or anyone watching is. Here again, I'm picking Jim. I can drill into Jim individually or any team or any person in his hierarchy. I'm picking my current quarter or other sales period if you forecast by month instead. And then up top, always in my mind, I've got my target and what commitment I've already made, my latest commitment for my team that's, of course, being balanced against that target. And then this is the big new fun, opportunity review. So I can click in this tab and we already talked about, I'm seeing every opportunity that belongs to anyone in my team according to this picker for the current period. And then I really want to talk about this beautiful new ribbon. So here we're doing math for you. Let the platform do the math. I've got clicked here my forecast, and that means I'm looking at every opportunity that's either already been won or has been included in pipe, meaning that that seller who owns it says, I'm confident I'm going to win this. So right here, I can see at a glance, no calculators required, 544K, right? And that's really going to be driving how I make my commitment. Now, the nice thing about these metrics is that you can see, I'll actually take a pause and describe each one. This is what's been included, but pipeline means it's open. So here's every open opportunity that we're confident in winning. Upside, every open opportunity that we are hopeful about winning, but it's a little less confident. And then excluded are the open opportunities that we're not sure yet we're going to get. It's just good things to go after. And then I can see at a glance what I've already won. This is pretty high considering how early I am in my quarter. I can see what we've already lost. And then again, just being able to see overall every dollar that's in pipe, no matter how it splits across these different metrics. And the thing that I love the most about this ribbon is that it's not just doing the math for me, but I can click it. So by clicking included pipe, it's going to go ahead and filter. It's like a quick filter to show for my entire team, here's everything that's open and included. So when I'm in that pipeline review call, this might be where I start to say, hey, we don't need to focus on the ones we've won. I can look at my forecast number. That's informing how I'm making my commitment. And again, I'm making that commitment here in my commitment tab. But now that I'm in that pipe review, I'm doing opportunity review with my team, I'm probably going to be focused here first. What's the stuff that we've already said we're confident we're going to get, and let's poke at each one and make sure it's moving along.
So this is pretty awesome. I love how this looks. I love how intuitive it is and interactive. You can get that dynamic interaction with all of that data. We often talk about one tab to success, meaning that you can see everything you need all in just one tab. You don't have to open up a bunch of other windows to get all the data you need. And if I understand right, you've actually put in some cool focus drawer capability on this page as well, right?
You're exactly right. So as we, like I said, poke at each one, I want to test each opportunity. I want to have a conversation about it. I want to record that conversation so that we don't have to say the same things to each other about this next week. Focus drawers is just a great use case for that. So here's my focus icon next to this first opportunity. I'm going to click it and boom, without losing the context of where I am, I can now see all the information about this particular opportunity. I can click over and see its revenue line items. I can look at who this account is, even scroll down and see what they've bought from us before, if this is a returning customer or a renewal. And then right here, check out the current activity. Okay, I can see we had a demo follow-up. Looks like that happened, and now someone changed the opportunity. They actually progressed the sales stage. That's good news, right? This looks like it's moving along, and I can see that just happened earlier today. And then right here, like I said, I don't want to have to repeat the same questions and same conversations every time we do pipe review. There's a lot of opportunities to keep in my brain. And so here's comment log, and I can quickly during pipe review type a few more things and go ahead and log that as well. Or even say, you know what, let's have Sally over in legal, go ahead and do a review, and I can kick that action off from right here and log a task for her to do something. So it's a really nice experience to get a peek at what's happening with the opportunity and to take action for whatever we need to either record about the conversation or take that next step. And then as soon as I'm done talking about this particular opportunity, I love these buttons. They seem small, but they're little nuggets of goodness. So I click next. And boom, now I'm talking about the very next one on my list and able to have just progressing the conversation without having to refilter, hunt for what I'm looking for, step through all the ones that I'm interested in, and get back to selling and off the call.
That's awesome that you could do all of this all from this one page. And you had mentioned some filtering as well, and it looks like on the top there that we can actually drill in even further.
That's an
Again,
astute
without
eye,
having to leave
James.
the page.
That's right. That's right. And so one of the other things that I'm just so excited about with this metric bar, again, is not just printing metrics, they're interactive, you click on them, but they're not just answering one question either. So yeah, you caught it. This filter bar right here lets me enter whatever ad hoc filter I might want to build. Here you can see I had one saved already, my new business filter. So when I switch that from everything that's in my pipe to just new business, either by clicking a saved filter or building whatever one I want live, then it's going to go ahead and filter everything beneath it. So now I'm seeing all the deals that are new business, and I'm able to see all of my metrics updated just for new business versus my renewals, right? So it's a way to leverage this experience, leverage the filtering, but especially these metric bar, this bar of metrics to answer a whole set of questions that we haven't even dreamed up yet. Maybe you have region being set on each one of your opportunities, or maybe you have major product lines, right? And you care about forecasting and meeting goals for regions or goals for product lines. And I can change those filter here and get these same calculations done for me immediately. Without having, again, to export and do a bunch of rigmarole to answer those questions.
And it'll hit all those calculations automatically. You don't need to go through and do any more math outside of the CRM.
That's exactly right.
That's awesome. And you hit on a bunch of use cases already. Can we see, you mentioned geography, product line, probably industry segments if you have that, if you're tracking that. Are there other custom things that you could do with this, or is that?
Any custom field you put an opportunity, you're going to be able to filter by here. And any custom field on the opportunity you can display here as well. So for anyone who has used our previous forecasting experience, you might remember you felt a little limited in what kind of information you could show here. But now you're going to be able to put any field that you've got on opportunities, including your custom ones, which, let's be honest, are sometimes the most important pieces of information, right here where you want them. And you can interact with this the same way you interact with any other list view in Sugar, changing the column order, changing the width of it, scrolling and being able to have that frozen header, even enabling the frozen first column.
That is awesome. I love that. Great work. And I think our customers are going to love this. We've heard really good things from our customers about the importance of forecasting. We've been doing, just for all of our listeners who are watching this right now, we've been doing a lot of work around forecasting, and we have lots of material out there for you. And it's been really exciting to hear from customers just how important this forecasting capability is and how much they appreciate our approach to forecasting. It's strategic and very direct in how they can get the numbers they need. And it's something that they can easily talk to. They feel very confident in being able to say, these are the numbers. They don't feel like they need a waffle under the pressure. Or as one of my managers used to say, the red face test. You know, if you can be in that meeting and justify your answer and not get hot under the collar, you're going to be in a good spot.
That's great. And I love too that while we've been building the capabilities to support everything you just said, we also have a real mind on actually improving your outcomes. So not just making sure that you understand your outcomes ahead of time, that you can be confident about what's going to happen, but actually winning more, right? So that when we highlight risk in this interface, when we let you dig in really quickly and see what's going on, and that gives you that opportunity to take corrective action, to push in harder on the the deals that you need to. Set up that golf game if that's going to get it across the line, whatever it takes, right? As our CEO always says, this quarter is the most important quarter in the company's history, and we are trying to help you be successful there.
Absolutely. That's well said. And that brings us to our last but not least new capability update, and that is around our Cloud Drive Dashlet. Ellen, you want to tell us a little bit more about what's changing with this release?
I'd love to. Yep. Cloud Drive is really not that old of a feature to begin with, so it's exciting that we're enhancing it so much already. And so for those of you who haven't used it yet, this is a dashlet that you can put in any screen in Sugar, and it's going to be a window into an external cloud-based storage. So we already supported, let's think, OneDrive and Google Drive. And the big change this quarter is that now we offer support for Dropbox. So if your company's using Dropbox as your external cloud's repository, now you have a great new capability that you can leverage.
That's awesome. And I like that you say that this could fit anywhere within the CRM, within Sugar. And I've heard that a lot of our customers are using this to store templates for NDAs or contracts. I've seen some customers showing us how they use it for sales enablement materials. So they store a lot of their information there. It's quick and easy to access. They don't have to leave Sugar to go and get that information. One of my favorites as a marketer is that we have a lot of our marketing material that can be hosted within the Cloud Drive Dashlet. So again, just making it easier for sellers to get that information, not have to go somewhere else digging for it. It's all right there and ready for them to share with their customers as necessary.
I think you nailed it right there, and always up to date, which I know is always a challenge, making sure we don't have old copies of decks and other enablement materials floating around. So I think it really puts a lot of control in your admins and in your marketing team's hands to make sure the right stuff is being surfaced.
And that you can remove anything that's been out of date. And
that's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's huge. Well, Ellen, this has been so fun. Thank you for joining us and sharing your knowledge and expertise. And please share our appreciation to all the engineers that have been working on this release. It's really exciting.
I will pass that on. I know that they're busy at work on the very next good things, so I hope to be able to be invited back to share next time. We have exciting news coming all the time.
That sounds great. Can't wait. And a special thanks to all of our enterprise customers, to all of you using Sugar Enterprise on premises. We are so glad that you are using the world's best CRM right at your fingertips. And we're constantly working to make this better and better with every release. Now, if you have more questions, we actually have more goodies that are packed into this release that we're not talking about here. You can learn more about that on Sugar Club. And again, as a reminder, all of the release details we've talked about today will become available for on-premises with the 13.0 release, which comes in April of 2023. Again, thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And until then, you take care. And thanks for joining us on this edition of The Scoop.
Thank you, guys.